Lord delivered
family,
Jehoiakim,
my
king
wife
of
and
Judah,
my
into
son.
his hand,
Yeah,
along with
I
some
will,
of the
I will,
articles from
I
the
will
temple
make.
of God.
I'm going
These
to
he
make
carried off to
some
the temple of his God
really
in Babylonia,
nice
and put in the
party
treasure
or
house of his
some
God. Then the king ordered Ashpenaz, chief of his
dinner,
court officials,
lunch,
to bring in
any
some of the
supper.
Israelites from the
Okay.
royal family and
Anytime,
nobility,
if we have some free
young men
time,
without any
Yeah,
physical
we
defect,
will can
hence
make some
showing
really
aptitude
good
for every
situation
kind of learning,
to
Yeah.
well
That'd be
informed,
good
quick
relationship.
to understand, and qualified to serve in the king's
Nice.
palace. He was to teach
Your
them the
wife's
language and literature
injury,
of the
how bad is it?
Babylonians. The king assigned them a daily amount
Not
of
too
food and wine
bad,
from the king's
just
table. They were to be
a
trained for
little
3
bit hard
years,
to work.
and after that,
Okay.
they were to enter the king's
Just
service. Among these were
her
some from Judah:
knees,
Daniel, Hananiah,
just
Mishael,
like this.
and Azariah.
This
The
is
chief official gave them
more
new
half.
names. To Daniel,
Oh,
the
did
Beside,
name Belteshazzar.
twist.
Did she
To
break
Hananiah,
the
Twist.
bone?
No, no,
Shadrach.
not bones,
To
just
Mishael,
twist.
Meshach,
Sprain.
and to
Uh-huh.
Azariah, Abednego. But Daniel resolved not to defile himself
That's good
with the
so they
royal
didn't break
food and wine, and he asked the chief official for
My
permission
friend,
not to defile
he
himself
was
this way.
snowboard skiing
Now
here
God had
last
caused
weekend,
the
and his
official
son
to show
broke
favor
his
and
wrist.
sympathy to Daniel, but the official told Daniel,
I am afraid of my lord the king, who has assigned you food and drink. Why should he see you looking worse than the other young men your age? The king would then have my head because of you.
Daniel then said to the guard whom the chief official had appointed over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah,
Please
Honey.
test your servants for 10 days. Give us nothing.
Do you
but
have any
vegetables to eat and water to
special
drink.
plan
Compare our
tonight?
appearance with that of the young men who eat the royal food,
Unfortunately, I'm
and
going to
treat your servants in accordance
Uh-huh.
with what you see.
So he
Okay.
agreed to this and tested them for 10 days. At the end of the 10 days, they looked
Uh-huh.
healthier and better nourished than any of the young men who ate the royal food. So the guard took away their
Because
choice food,
we
wine they were to drink, and
came
gave
to
them vegetables
here
instead.
from Friday night,
These 4 young men,
and
God
I'm
gave
going
knowledge
to
and
leave
understanding
this
of all
village
kinds of literature and
Monday,
learning.
early in the
And
morning.
Daniel could understand visions
So
and
I
dreams of
sleep
all
here
kinds.
today,
At the end of
tonight.
the time
So
set
if
by
you
the
have
king
some
to
free
bring them
time,
the chief
after
official presented
meet
them to
your friend,
Nebuchadnezzar.
just
The king talked
make
with
it
them.
some
He found none
schedule
equal to Daniel,
together.
Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. So they
Uh-huh.
entered the king's service. In every matter of wisdom and understanding about which the king questioned them, he found them 10 times better than all
you
the
mean-
magicians
you
and
mean
enchanters
you
in his whole
leave
kingdom.
This
And Daniel
village
remained
tonight.
until the first year of King Cyrus.
Uh-huh.
Daniel, chapter 1.
So bad.
In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem and besieged it. And the Lord delivered Jehoiakim, king
Siya na
of Judah,
pala
into
po.
his hand, along with some of the articles from the temple of God. These he carried off to the temple of his God in Babylonia, and put in the treasure house of his God. Then the king ordered Ashpenaz, chief of his court officials, to bring in some of the Israelites from the royal family and nobility, young men without any physical defect, hence showing aptitude for every kind of learning, well informed, quick to understand, and qualified to serve in the king's palace. He was to teach them the language and literature of the Babylonians. The king assigned them a daily amount of food and wine from the king's table. They were to be trained for 3 years. After that, they were to enter the king's service. Among these were some from Judah: Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. And the chief official gave them names. To Daniel he gave the name Belteshazzar. To Hananiah, Shadrach. To Mishael, Meshach. And to Azariah, Abednego. But Daniel resolved not to defile himself with food and wine, and he asked the chief official for permission not to defile himself this way. Now God had caused the official to show favor and sympathy to Daniel, but the official told Daniel,
I am afraid of my lord the king, who has assigned you food and drink. Why should he see you looking worse than the other young men your age? The king would then have my head because of you.
Daniel then said to the guard whom the chief official had appointed over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah,
Please test your servants for 10 days. Give us nothing but vegetables to eat and water to drink. Then compare our appearance with that of the young men who eat the royal food, and treat your servants in accordance with what you see.
So he agreed to this and tested them for 10 days. At the end of the 10 days, they looked healthier and better nourished than any of the young men who ate the royal food. So the guard took away their choice food, and the wine they were to drink, and gave them vegetables instead. To these 4 young men, God gave all kinds of literature and learning, and Daniel could understand visions and dreams of all kinds. At the end of the time set by the king to bring them in, the chief official presented them to Nebuchadnezzar. The king looked at them, and he found none equal to Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. So they entered the king's service. In every matter of wisdom and understanding about which the king questioned them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and enchanters in his whole kingdom. And Daniel remained there until the first year of King Cyrus. Daniel, chapter 1. In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem and besieged it. And the Lord delivered Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hand, along with some of the articles from the temple of God. These he carried off to the temple of his God in Babylonia, and put in the treasure house of his God. Then the king ordered Ashpenaz, chief of his court officials, to bring in some of the Israelites from the royal family and nobility, young men without any physical defect, handsome, showing aptitude for every kind of learning, well-informed, quick to understand, and qualified to serve in the king's palace. He was to teach them the language and literature of the Babylonians. The king assigned them a daily amount of food and wine at the king's table. They were to be trained by the king's advisors, and after that, they were to enter the king's service. Among these were some from Judah: Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. The chief official gave them the name: Daniel, the name Belteshazzar; to Hananiah, Shadrach; to Mishael, Meshach; and to Azariah, Abednego. But Daniel resolved not to defile himself with the worldly food and wine, and he asked the chief official for permission not to defile himself this way. Now God had caused the official to show favor and sympathy to Daniel, but the official told Daniel,
I am afraid of my lord the king, who has assigned your food and drink. Why should he see you looking worse than the other young men your age? The king would then have my head because of you.
Daniel then said to the guard whom the chief official had appointed over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah,
Please test your servants for 10 days. Give us nothing but vegetables to eat and water to drink. Then compare our appearance with that of the young man who
I
ate
slept.
royal food, and
I slept
prove
2
your service
times.
in accordance with what you see.
So he agreed to this and tested them for 10 days. At the end of the 10 days, they looked
Crash.
healthier and better nourished than
Crash.
any of the young
Okay.
men
Times.
who ate the royal food. So
Yes,
the
I am
guard
okay.
took their choice food, and the wine they were to drink and gave them vegetables instead. To these 4 young men, God gave knowledge and understanding of all kinds of literature and learning.
Skiing
And
is
Daniel
very
could understand visions and
difficult.
dreams of all kinds.
but
At
funny.
the end of the time set by
Fun.
the king to bring them in, the chief official
Nice,
presented them to
not too
Nebuchadnezzar.
icy today.
The king talked with them, and he
And
found none
too
equal
much
to Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael,
black.
and Azariah. So they
Mogo?
entered the king's service.
Mughals?
In
Mogo?
every matter of wisdom and understanding
the little
about which the
bumps?
king questioned them, he found them 10 times better than all the
Moguls,
magicians
no
and
good for
enchanters in his
snowboards.
whole kingdom. And Daniel remained there until the 1st year of King Cyrus.
It's a lot of winding like a snake
Daniel.
all the way down.
Chapter 1.
I told
In
you
the 3rd
slap.
year of the reign of
Slap.
Jehoiakim, king of Judah,
Sleep.
Nebuchadnezzar,
Slap.
king of Babylon, came to
Slip.
Jerusalem and
Slip.
besieged
Like
it.
slip?
And the Lord
Slip.
delivered Jehoiakim,
Slip.
king of Judah,
You-
into his hand,
you
along with some
told
of the
me-
articles from the temple of God.
Crash.
These he
Crash.
carried off to the temple of
Crash.
his God in Babylonia, and put in the treasure house of his
Slip.
God. Then the king ordered Ashpenaz, chief of his court officials,
Slip as if
to bring in some of the Israelites
is
from the royal family and
more
nobility,
minor or
young
less
men
subtle.
without any physical defect, handsome,
So
showing
not-
aptitude for every kind of learning, well-informed, quick to understand,
Yeah, so
and
crash
qualified
is
to
like
serve in the king's palace.
oh,
He was to teach them the language and
bad.
literature of the Babylonians.
Crash.
The king assigned them a
more,
daily
more
amount of
epic
food
if
and
you
wine
will.
from the king's table.
Slip is
They were to be trained for 3 years, and after that,
not a,
they
not
were
a big
to enter
deal,
the
a little
king's
bit.
service.
But
Among
crash
these
is
were
like
some
Wow.
from Judah:
more
Daniel, Hananiah,
fantastic.
Mishael, and Azariah.
I
The
crashed.
chief official gave them new names. To Daniel,
Oh.
the name
Slip
Belteshazzar. To Hananiah, Shadrach. To Mishael,
more
Meshach.
common
And to Azariah,
when you talk
Abednego.
about walking.
But Daniel resolved not to defile
So if
himself
you
with
walk
the royal
on
food
ice and you
wine.
slip,
And he asked the chief official
crash
for permission
is
not to defile
more
himself this way.
common
Now
if
God
you're
had
talking
caused the
about
official to show
sports.
favor and sympathy to
Sports.
Daniel.
What skin?
But the official told
So if
Daniel,
you
Skin.
I am afraid
or
of my lord the king,
driving
who has
or,
assigned your food and drink.
Crash. Accident.
Why should he see you
yeah,
looking
crash
worse
is more
than the
like
other young men
accident.
your age? The king would then
slip
have my
is
head
more
because
like
of you.
walking.
Daniel then said to the guard whom the chief official had appointed
But
over
you can
got it.
Daniel,
you can use
Hananiah,
both.
Mishael,
but,
and Azariah.
with sports,
Please
crash
test your
is
servants
more
for
common.
10 days. Give us
thank
nothing
you.
but vegetables to eat and water to
But
drink.
it's
got it.
also if it's
Then
more
compare
bad
our
too.
appearance with that of the young man
Slip
who eat
is
the royal food,
so whereas
and
crash
treat
is
your
like,
servants in accordance with what you see.
So he agreed to this and tested them for 10 days. At the end of the 10 days, they looked healthier and better nourished than any of the young
what are
men who
you
ate the
listening
royal
to?
food. So the guard took
Bible.
away their choice food
Okay.
and the wine they
Are
were
you
to drink
Christian?
and gave them
Yes,
vegetables
I'm a
instead.
Christian.
To these 4 young men, God gave knowledge and understanding of
When
all
I born
kinds of
in,
literature and learning. And
from my
Daniel could
mom,
understand visions and
I
dreams
just
of all kinds.
Christian.
At the
I
end
don't
of
have
the
any
time set by
chance.
the king to
I
bring them
just,
in,
I
the chief
just
official presented
Christian.
them to Nebuchadnezzar. The king talked with them,
decision
and he
was
found
made.
none equal to Daniel,
He's
Hananiah,
same
Mishael, and
as
Azariah.
me.
So they entered the king's service. In every
the way
matter
of
of
following
wisdom
the
and
family.
understanding about
Right.
which the king
Family
questioned
line.
them,
Right,
he
right.
found them 10 times better than all the magicians and enchanters in his whole kingdom. And Daniel
Is
remained there until the
Christian
first
the
year of
most
King
common
Cyrus.
religion in Korea?
Daniel,
Maybe.
chapter 1.
Okay.
Maybe.
'Cause is,
In the third year of the reign of Jehoiakim,
as I travel
king
to
of
other
Judah,
Asian countries,
Nebuchadnezzar,
I
king
see
of Babylon, came to
Buddhism.
Jerusalem and besieged
Buddhism
it.
common in
And the Lord
Korea?
delivered Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hand, along
For
with
the
some of
first
the
time,
articles from
Buddhism
the temple
is
of God.
more
These he carried off to
common,
the
but
temple of his god in
nowadays
Babylonia, and put in the treasure house of
almost
his god.
50-50.
Then the king
Okay.
ordered Ashpenaz, chief of his court
It
officials,
used to be
to bring in some of
in
the
old
Israelites
times,
from
it
the
used to
royal
be more
family and
common.
nobility,
Okay.
young men without any physical defect, handsome, showing aptitude for every kind
Do
of
you
work,
know about
well
Joseon
informed,
dynasty?
quick to understand,
500
and
years?
qualified to serve in the king's
Joseon
palace.
dynasty.
He was
I've
to
heard of the
teach them the
Joseon.
language
At that
and
time,
literature of the
100%
Babylonians.
almost
The king
Buddhist.
assigned them a daily
Okay.
amount of food and
Buddhism.
wine from the king's table.
But
They were to be
nowadays,
trained for 3 years,
maybe
and after that,
that's
they were to enter the
200
king's service.
years
Among
ago
these
from
were some from
USA,
Judah, Daniel,
some
Hananiah,
priest or
Mishael,
pastor
and
or
Azariah.
something.
The chief official
More-
gave them new
more
names.
Westerners
To
now.
Daniel, the name
So
Belteshazzar.
50-50.
To Hananiah, Shadrach. To Mishael, Meshach. And to Azariah,
happened?
Abednego.
In the
But
US,
Daniel
it's,
resolved not to defile himself
we
with
have
the
so
royal
many
food
different
and wine.
countries that
And he
immigrate
asked
that
the
it's,
chief official
it's a
for
big
permission
mix.
not to defile himself this way.
Europeans, it's
Now God had caused the official to show
Christians,
favor and sympathy to Daniel. But
the
the official
Africans
told
bring
Daniel,
their
I am afraid of my lord the
Their,
king, who
religions
has assigned your
and
food and drink.
Buddhism.
Why should he see you looking worse than the other young men your
Sikhism, a lot of
age?
the religions
The king
that
would then
come
have
from
my head
Asia.
because of you.
Daniel then said to the guard
Especially
whom the chief
California
official had
is
appointed
very
over Daniel,
diverse.
Hananiah, Mishael,
Lots of
and
different
Azariah.
immigrants.
Please test your servants for 10 days. Give us
It's
How do you
interesting.
like? How do you like
vegetables to eat and
Korean
water to drink.
life?
Then compare our
I like it.
appearance with that of the
It's very
young men
new
who
for me.
eat the royal food.
I never,
And treat your servants in accordance with what you see.
So
I
he
wasn't
agreed to
ever
this
very
and
familiar with
tested them
Asia.
for 10 days.
So
At
it's
the
very
end of the
good to
10
see
days, they looked healthier
something
and
new
better
and a
nourished than
different,
any of the young men who ate the royal food.
Americans
So the guard took away their choice
oftentimes
food
were so
and the wine they were to drink and gave them
alone,
vegetables
so
instead.
isolated from the rest
To
of the
these 4
world
young men,
that it's
God
difficult
gave
to,
knowledge and understanding of
see
all
other ways
kinds of
of
literature
life.
and learning.
So it's good
And
to
Daniel
leave
could
the country
understand
and
visions
see,
and dreams of
see
all kinds.
new ways of
At
doing
the end of the
things.
time set by the king to bring them in, the chief official presented them to
And I
Nebuchadnezzar.
like the food.
The king talked with them, and he found none equal to Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. So they entered the king's service. In every matter of wisdom and understanding about
What
which
do you
the
do?
king questioned them, he
What do
found
I
them
do?
10 times
Yes.
better than all the
I'm
magicians
here
and
with the
enchanters in
military.
his whole kingdom.
Military.
And Daniel
nice.
remained there until the first year of King
Wow,
Cyrus.
right. Pyeongtaek
Daniel,
City is
Chapter
military.
1.
Yeah, we have some
In the
down
third
there.
year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah,
very nice
Nebuchadnezzar,
job.
It's a
king
good,
of Babylon, came
it's a
to
good chance
Jerusalem
to
and
travel
besieged it.
and see the world.
And the Lord
That's
delivered
why I'm
Jehoiakim,
doing
king
it.
of Judah, into his hand, along with some
How
of the
many
articles
years?
from the temple of God.
Have you been?
These he carried off to the temple of his God in
5
Babylonia,
years.
and put in the treasure house
I
of his
went
God.
to the
Then
university.
the king ordered
and then
Ashpenaz,
after the
chief of his
university, I
court
decided
officials, to bring in some of the Israelites from the royal
to
family
see
and
the world a
nobility,
little bit.
young men without
It's
any
a good way
physical
for us
defect,
to be
handsome,
able to travel.
showing aptitude for every kind of learning, well informed, quick to understand, and qualified to serve in the king's palace. He was to teach them the language and literature of the Babylonians. The king assigned them a daily amount of food and wine from the king's table. They were to be trained for 3 years, and after that, they were to enter the king's service. Among these were some from Judah, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. The chief official gave them new names. To Daniel, the name
너는 쉬고 있어
Belteshazzar.
그럼
To
여기서.
Hananiah, Shadrach. To Mishael, Meshach. And to Azariah, Abednego. But Daniel
저
resolved
선장에
not to
쉬고
defile
있을래?
himself with the royal food and wine.
산장에 가서 쉬고
He asked
있으려냐고.
the chief official for permission not to defile himself this way.
어?
Now God had caused the official to show favor and sympathy to Daniel. But the official told Daniel,
I am afraid of my lord the king, who has assigned your food and drink. Why should he see you looking worse than the other young men your age?
Okay.
The king would then have my head because of you.
I'm ready all the time, but not your skill.
Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah.
Please test your servants for 10 days. Give us nothing but
전 이거
vegetables
앞으로
to eat
어디?
and water to drink. Then compare our appearance with that of the young men who eat the royal food, and treat your servants in accordance with what you see.
So he agreed to this and tested them for 10 days. At the end of the 10 days, they looked healthier and better nourished than any of the young men who ate the royal food. So the guard took away their choice food and the wine they were to drink and gave them vegetables instead. To these 4 young men, God gave knowledge and understanding of all kinds of literature and learning, and gave them ideas of all kinds. At the end of the time set by the king to bring them in, the chief official presented them to Nebuchadnezzar. And he found none equal to Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. So they entered the king's service. In every matter of business, the king questioned them, enchanters in his whole kingdom, and Daniel remained there until the first year of King Cyrus. Daniel, chapter 1. In the third year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem and besieged it. And the Lord delivered Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hand, along with some of the articles from the temple of God. These he carried off to the temple of his God in Babylonia, and put in the treasure house of his God. Then the king ordered Ashpenaz, chief of his court officials, to bring in some of the Israelites from the royal family and nobility, young men without any physical defect, handsome, showing aptitude for every kind of learning, well-informed, quick to understand, and qualified to serve in the king's palace. He was to teach them the language and literature of the Babylonians. The king assigned them a daily amount of food and wine from the king's table. They were to be trained for 3 years, and after that, they were to enter the king's service. Among these were some from Judah: Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. The chief official gave them new names. To Daniel, the name Belteshazzar; to Hananiah, Shadrach; to Mishael, Meshach; and to Azariah, Abednego. But Daniel resolved not to defile himself with the royal food and wine, and he asked the chief official for permission not to defile himself this way. Now God had caused the official to show favor to his son. But the official told Daniel,
I am afraid of my lord the king, who has assigned your food and drink. Why should he see you looking worse than the other young men your age? The king would then have my head because of you.
Daniel then said to the guard whom the chief official had appointed over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah,
Please test your servants for 10 days. Give us nothing but vegetables to eat and water to drink. Then the young men who eat the royal food, and give your service in accordance with what you see.
So he advised and tested them for 10 days. At the end of the 10 days, they looked healthier and better nourished than any of the young men who ate the royal food. So the guard prepared their choice food, and the wine they were to drink and gave them vegetables instead. To these 4 young men, God gave knowledge and understanding of all kinds of literature and learning, and Daniel could understand visions and dreams of all kinds. At the end of the time set by the king to rule, the chief official presented them to Nebuchadnezzar. The king talked with them, and he found none equal to Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. So they entered the king's service. In every matter of wisdom and understanding about which the king questioned them,
You guys
found them
very
10 times better
fast.
than all the magicians and
Wow.
enchanters in his whole
the hang
kingdom.
of it though. Cut it
And
back.
Daniel remained there until the first year of King Cyrus. Daniel,
아빠를 어떻게 설명해?
in the third year of the reign of
my
Jehoiakim, king of Judah,
social
Nebuchadnezzar, king of
old
Babylon, came
brother.
to
How can I say that? Just
Jerusalem
brother.
His,
and the Lord delivered
friend,
Jehoiakim,
something.
king of Judah, into his hand, along
he
with
said
some of the
Tanakh,
articles from
does
the
that
temple
mean
of
Right.
God. These he
Uncle,
carried off to
uncle,
the temple of his
uncle,
God in Babylonia,
uncle.
and put in the
He
treasure
is
house
very
of his
nice
God.
skin.
Then the king
Okay.
ordered
Spear.
Ashpenaz, chief
Yeah, I
of
was
his
asking
court
him how he
officials,
learned.
to bring in some of the
your brother
Israelites
teach
from the royal family
Yes.
and nobility,
Okay.
young men without
My,
any physical defect,
Joey?
handsome,
Okay.
showing aptitude for every kind of
Sister
learning,
I was
well
talking to her
informed,
the other
quick
day.
to understand,
We all
and
grew up
qualified to serve in the
snowboarding.
king's
More
palace.
common in
He
Western
was to teach
America.
them the language and literature of the Babylonians. The king assigned them a daily amount of food and wine from the king's table. They were to be trained for 3 years, and after that, they were to enter the king's service. Among these were some from Judah: Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. The chief official gave them new names. To Daniel, the name Belteshazzar; to Hananiah, Shadrach; to Mishael, Meshach; and to Azariah, Abednego. But Daniel resolved not to defile himself with the royal food and wine, and he asked the chief official for permission not to defile himself this way. Now God had caused the official to show favor and sympathy to Daniel, but the official told Daniel,
I am afraid of my lord the king, who has assigned your food and drink. Why should he see you looking worse than the other young men your age? The king would then have my head because of you.
Daniel then said to the guard whom the chief official had appointed over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah,
Well, I'm very happy to meet you.
Yeah, it's wonderful to meet you guys.
To eat and
So
water
I
to drink.
have, I
Then
only have
compare
one friend
our
out here
appearance
that
with
also
of the young
skis and
men who eat the
snowboards.
royal food. And
When
treat
we
your
went
servants
last
in
weekend,
accordance
he
with
got
what you
hurt,
see.
so he
So
couldn't
he
come out
agreed to
today.
this and tested them for
But
10
I didn't
days.
want to stay home, so I
At
thought
the
I'd
end of the
come
10 days, they looked healthier
Do you
and better
have
nourished
any
than any of the young men who
plan
ate the royal food.
to
So the guard took
some
away
party
their
or
choice food
something
and the wine they were to drink
in-
and gave them vegetables instead.
how can I say that?
To these 4 young men, God
New
gave
Year
knowledge and
in
understanding
Korea.
of all kinds
okay.
of literature and learning. And
Oh, we
Daniel
are
could understand
we are
visions
going
and
to
dreams
stay
of all
here
kinds.
again.
Oh, you'll be here?
At the end of the time
Oh,
set by the king
every
to bring them
week.
in, the chief
Every
official
week
presented them
stay
to
here.
Nebuchadnezzar.
Nice.
The
For
king
skiing.
talked with
Do you
them,
have,
and he found
do you
none
just
equal to
stay in a
Daniel,
hotel, or do you
Hananiah,
have family
Mishael,
here?
and
No,
Azariah.
just
So they entered the
some
king's service. In In every
some
matter of wisdom
apartment.
and understanding about which the king
Apartment.
questioned them,
Oh, okay.
he found
You guys
them
have an
10 times
apartment.
better than
My-
all the
my,
magicians and enchanters in his whole kingdom.
Friends,
And Daniel
I say,
remained there until the first year of King
brother.
Cyrus.
social
Daniel.
brother.
Chapter
Okay,
1.
so very close friend.
In
Right.
the third
We
year
do
of
the we
reign
do
of
the same.
Jehoiakim, king
Uh-huh.
of
So I
Judah,
call close friends
Nebuchadnezzar,
brothers.
king of Babylon,
sisters.
came to Jerusalem
brother.
and besieged it.
Just
And the Lord
1 year
delivered
older
Jehoiakim,
than
king
me.
of Judah, into his hand, along
So
with
we're
some
here
of the
just
articles
5
from the
minutes
temple of
here
God.
down
These he carried
down
off to the
village.
temple of his god in
There is
Babylonia
some
and put in the treasure house of his god.
apartments. So
Then the king
we are
ordered
using
Ashpenaz,
in
chief
there.
of his court
Okay,
officials,
wonderful.
to bring
Right.
in some
Good
of the
to
Israelites from the
friends
royal
nearby.
family
I
and
have
nobility. Young
a
men
friend
without
from the
any
U.S.
physical
who's coming
defect,
to visit me
handsome,
soon. So
showing aptitude for every kind of learning.
Why don't you
well-informed,
join me every
quick to
week?
understand,
Yes,
and
there
qualified
is
to serve
very
in the king's palace. He was to teach them the
Compliment?
language and literature of the Babylonians.
convenient.
The king assigned them a
convenient
daily amount of food
place.
and wine from the king's table.
Just sleep.
They were to be
And
trained for
we
3
are
years.
really
And
love
after
it.
that, they
Make
were to enter the king's service.
drinking alcohol,
Among these
make some
were some from
party
Judah,
all the time.
Daniel, Hananiah,
Oh,
Mishael, and
Very
Azariah.
good. If
The
you
chief official gave them
love
new names.
it
To
to
Daniel,
drink
the name
alcohol,
Belshazzar.
perfect.
To Hananiah, Shadrach.
What
To
what is
Mishael,
your favorite kind?
Meshach. And to Azariah,
Many kinds of
Abednego. But
whiskey,
Daniel resolved not to defile himself with the royal food and wine.
rum,
And he asked
Rum?
the chief
rum,
official for
okay.
permission not
and
to defile
soju,
himself this way.
Makgeolli.
Now God had caused the official to
beer.
show favor and sympathy to Daniel.
All of it.
But the official told Daniel,
I just
I am
drink
afraid of my lord
water
the king, who has
all
assigned your
night.
food and drink.
Just water?
Why should
Just
he
water.
see you looking
Water.
worse
I just,
than the
I
other
just
young men your age?
really love
The king
it
would
to
then
make
have my
some
head
party,
because of you.
make
Daniel
some
then said to the guard,
talking
whom the
about
chief official had
something
appointed over
and
Daniel,
make
Social.
some
Hananiah,
right,
Mishael, and
socializing.
right.
Azariah.
Ah, okay.
Please
Just
test your
all
servants for
night,
10
just
days. Give us
drink,
nothing but
drink,
vegetables to eat
drinking
and water. To
water.
drink. Then compare our appearance with
So
that of
many,
the young man
so
who
many
eat the
kinds
royal
of people
food.
is just
And
drink
treat your
alcohol.
servants in accordance
okay.
with what you see.
You
So
prefer
he
to stay
agreed to
sober?
this and tested them for 10 days.
Sober
At the
is
end of the
when
10
you
days, they
drink
looked
no
healthier
alcohol.
and better
No
nourished
alcohol.
than any of the young men who ate
Do you
the
prefer
royal
to be
food.
sober?
So the guard took away their
It's not a-
choice food and
It's a
the wine
better
they were
way
to
to
drink
do
and
it.
gave
Less,
them vegetables instead.
less money.
To these 4 young men,
Alcohol
God
sells.
I
gave
just
knowledge
quit.
and
I just
understanding
quit.
of all kinds
Oh,
of
really?
literature
For
and
the first
learning.
time, I
And Daniel
really
could understand
heavy
visions
drunk,
and dreams of all kinds.
drunker,
At the end of the time
drinker,
set by the king to bring them
drink
in,
alcohol.
the chief official
True.
presented them to Nebuchadnezzar.
but
The king talked
my
with
my
them, and he
heart
found none
and my
equal to
body
Daniel,
condition is
Hananiah,
really
Mishael,
bad.
and
I'm
Azariah.
old,
So they
getting
entered the
older
king's service.
every year,
In
so
every
I
matter of
cannot
wisdom and understanding about
want
which the king questioned them,
make
he found them
me
10 times
bad-
better
bad.
than all the magicians and
So I
enchanters in
just
his
quit
whole kingdom.
smoke and
And Daniel
drink
remained
alcohol.
there until the first year of King Cyrus.
Similar. I used to drink
Daniel,
a lot. I don't drink
Chapter
that much.
1.
Okay.
In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah,
What about food?
Nebuchadnezzar, king of
Side
Babylon,
dish.
came to
Food is,
Jerusalem and
Okay,
besieged
just
And the
join
Lord
us.
delivered
Food's a good
Jehoiakim, king of
substitute.
Judah, into his
Join
hand,
us.
along
Join
with
us
some of the articles
anytime
from the
if
temple
you're
of
near
God.
here.
These he
Some
carried off to the
weekend.
temple of his god in
I
Babylonia,
just
and put in the
we
treasure
are
house
going
of
to
his god.
stay here
Then the king ordered
for
Ashpenaz, chief of his
kids
court officials, to bring in some
close
of the
the
Israelites from the
resort
royal family
every
and
week.
nobility.
Friday
men
night,
without any physical defect.
Saturday, Sunday,
Hence,
just
showing
we leave
aptitude for
Monday
every
early in
kind
the
of
morning.
learning,
Oh, okay.
well
That's
informed,
wonderful.
quick to
Four
understand,
4 days,
and qualified to serve in the king's palace. He
3
was
days,
to
4
teach
nights.
them the language and literature of the
3
Babylonians.
nights.
The king assigned them a
days?
daily amount of food and
Okay.
wine from the king's
If
table.
you leave
They were to be
Thursday
trained
night
for 3 years.
to come
And
Friday
after
back.
that,
night.
they were to
Friday
enter
night?
the king's
Okay.
service.
So
Among these were
Almost
some
3
from Judah,
days, 3
Daniel,
nights.
Hananiah,
Okay.
Mishael, and Azariah. The chief
yeah.
official
Let
gave them
me,
new names.
I'll let
To
you know
Daniel,
next time
the
I come
name
up.
Belteshazzar.
I think so.
To Hananiah,
This is my first
Shadrach.
time.
To Mishael,
but
Meshach. And
it's
to
so
Azariah,
close that it's nice
Abednego.
to
But Daniel
it's so
resolved not to
convenient.
defile
I want
himself
to,
with the royal food and wine.
go to
And he asked the
Pyeongchang
chief official
and
for permission
Taiwan
not
and
to
some of
defile
those
himself
spots,
this
but
way.
they're so far away.
Now God had
Far
caused
away
the
and
official to show favor and sympathy to Daniel. But the
so
official told
cold.
Daniel,
A lot of people.
I am afraid of my lord the
Are
king,
they
who has assigned
a
your
lot
food and
bigger
drink.
or
Why
just a
should he
little bit?
see you
I
looking worse than
really
the other young men your
hate
age?
wait.
The king would then have my
Line.
head because
Long
of you.
lines?
Daniel then
Really
said to the
long
guard
line.
whom the
So,
chief official had
too
appointed
crowd-
over Daniel, Hananiah,
Too many
Mishael,
people.
and
No,
Azariah.
no, no.
You spend more
Please
time
test your
waiting to
servants
go
for
up
Right.
than you do going
Give
down.
us
Right.
nothing but vegetables to eat.
That's
and
why I
water to
like it
drink.
when it's
Then
very cold.
compare our appearance
When
with
it's,
that of the young men who eat the royal food.
-5,
And
-10 under
treat
10
your
degrees
servants in
Celsius.
accordance with what you see.